Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews. And today we are taking a look at another snail shell figure. This time we're taking a look at Pumpkin Princess. And I'm going to be honest with you, snail shell is firing on all cylinders. It doesn't seem like they can miss right now because between them and Hasuki, they have just been killing it with these figures. It has taken me like a week to try to figure out how I'm going to do this review because she comes with so much stuff, and then you have this pumpkin mech that she can ride around in, and it's just a lot going on here. I mean, this thing is wild. So this might be a long review. I'll see what I can do to keep the time down, but this might be a long one, guys. So taking a quick look at the box really quick. The box is absolutely gigantic. The box is absolutely huge. So I'm gonna leave it back here for now because all the pictures and stuff you should be able to see just fine, but yeah, this thing is wild. I mean, she can ride in it, all kind of stuff. But the box doesn't do a whole lot for the figure. I mean, anyway, that's it for the box. Let's get the box out the way. Usually I keep the box in the shop, but that box is just way too big. And we'll take a look at the actual figure first. So this is very much in... So she's very much in the snail shell styling. They kind of went the Rainbow Mika route, and they sculpted the entire butt instead of having the little flappy flaps. And so I definitely prefer that over the flappy flaps. Now they could have done a little bit better here. They still seem to have left some extra flappy. I don't know what you want to call this. I'm calling it flappy flaps. In order to, I guess, sculpt her little bikini or underwear or whatever this is that she's wearing. And so this almost looks like it should be, I don't know, it shouldn't be part of her body or actual skin. But it is because there's a butt crack sculpted into it. So they might have just wanted to let this also create the butt. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's, at least on the SH Figure Arts Rainbow Mika, she has an outfit on, so it's easier to cover it up. But with just skin, it's a little more difficult. So I guess I won't really knock them for that. But the overall sculpt and detail and stuff is really, really nice. Obviously, you got the really nice face. Also, you need to watch out for these ponytails because one of mine instantly broke. I was just kind of messing around with them. And these are made to be detached because one of her accessories are another set of ponytails. So I'm not going to be pulling these out. I mean, mainly because of that, but you are supposed to be able to pull them out. So, but yeah, we got the really nicely painted purple, I guess, stockings you can call these, and then she has like her black and orange boots, and that goes along with the overall rest of the color of the rest of her outfit. So yeah, she looks really, really, really cute. I don't think she doesn't seem to have as much detail as the ones I've recently reviewed, but I think that's mainly because of that mech that she is supposed to be running around with, the little pumpkin mech thing. So I think that they may have put some of the budget into putting that together. So speaking of that thing, let me pull that over here and we can take a look at that. All right, now taking a look at this thing. So I'm calling it a mech. It could be a monster. I don't know what this thing is supposed to be, but the arms did come separately. They weren't attached to it, which makes sense. I mean, they had to box it, so you might as well just put the arms on there. I mean, you're not gonna, if you're gonna be displaying this thing, you're probably gonna have the arms on there. But there's different poses, and you can pop things off. This thing has a ton of articulation. One of the best articulated tails I think I've ever seen. It is very, very easy to move around. It's very fluid. Each one of these pieces are basically a ball joint. And so it flows and moves very, very nicely. Now you're going to have to deal with all these pokies, but you can twist them around individually, however you want to set that up. But one of the best moving tails I think I've ever seen. All hinge joints, hinge joint. They also swivel. So you can swivel these, hinge joint. We got the hinge joint in the hands. Each one of the hands are individually articulated. So we got a hinge joint and a hinge joint. So 1, 2, 3 hinge joints in each finger. Even the thumb has 2. I mean, this thing, we got, what else? Hinge joints here. So one there, and then we just got a ball joint connecting the legs to the body. So that is that. The eyes can move, apparently. I wasn't able to get mine to move, but the eyes can move. The wrist is on a very functional hinge joint. Squeaky, but functional. I mean, this thing looks awesome, by the way. The paint job on it is wonderful. The translucent plastic is really, really cool looking. I mean, it's just a wonder what they were able to do with, I mean, these third-party companies are absolutely killing it. Some of them are. This is a really, really cool looking piece. And this whole little mouth gimmick that it has here, it's magnetized. So you can just pull this off and pop it back on. It's a very, very nicely done magnet, the way that they used it. How it's kind of sitting in the actual back structure of the head, and then this sinks down into it, and you can see the magnet in there. And I mean, this thing just pops right on. It doesn't take anything to pop that on at all. And then the back of it, you can see the back of it has cuts and slits and stuff for you to hold weapons. I mean, this thing is absolutely nuts. Now, it did come packaged with these things because these little ears, or I don't know what you want to call those, eyelashes maybe even, are super duper pokey and super duper pointy. So you can definitely cut yourself on those. But this thing is absolutely wild. And I'll put some pictures up from the promo images so you can see like the different, I guess, not positions, but the different forms that this thing can take, and what you can put her in. They'll just be popping up. Probably I might have had them popping up throughout the review, but if I haven't, they'll be popping up now. So yeah, this thing is all kinds of crazy. But anyway, that's it for the 2 figures. Let's take a look at all the other accessories. All right, so I'm going to start with the accessories for the female figure. So she comes with 2 weapon holding hands. She just has 2 spread open hands normally. So she gets those 2 normal ones, But then she gets like these kind of bigger ones, I guess. And these are for her to hold some of the bigger weapons that also the mech can hold. But there are some that are too big for her to hold. But then she gets these wide open hands. And some more just kind of spread open hands. They're really nicely painted. So she gets those for hands. She gets a little face mask that she can put around her face. I guess if you wanna do that, you can. I won't be doing that. She gets a little hat with a magnet. She has a little magnet in her head, and then this hat can fit right on her head. So that's really cool. I love it when they use magnets, especially for hats. Then she also comes with the 2 extra ponytails that I was telling you about. So they are sculpted a little different, I believe. These are the ones that came with her. And so let's see, how would this go? I guess this would be like this. I'm not quite sure, but these are sculpted differently. Or maybe not. No, I think these are basically the same. I think they're a little different. I think they are, no, I think they might be the same. Maybe you just get extra ponytails just in case it breaks. Because like I said, it did break on me when I opened this one. Maybe they just give you some extra ponytails, but you get 2 of those. Then you get these little tiny, extra little tiny pieces, which I hope to never have to use. But those are, I guess, replacements for these little pegs where you can plug into her back. So I think that's what they're supposed to do, replace those. They're different colors though. They're painted a little different. So I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, but these things are absolutely tiny. And there would be no way I would be able to find those if they fell into the rug or carpet. Then we get the eye mover, obviously, same old eye mover. Well, I think that actually this is a newer eye mover, but she can move the eyes. Oh, then we got the faces. So here's kind of a angry face here. And there are the movable eyes, so that looks good. Then you have kind of a scared face, or maybe even a sad face. Now this is the face that I'm definitely gonna be using. So this is like her trickster face, I think I would call that. Like a little trickster head, her face. It's the same one that's on the front of the box. And then this is like a super sinister style laughing face, or evil laughing face. This could be one that I could use. I might use this one. We'll see. But then you got this little plug that you use to plug her into the little pumpkin mech. So we'll see that later. We'll see that in use later. Then you get to the cool stuff. This skull is so dope. Now, I don't know. This must be for the stand. The pictures that I've seen, she's holding it in her hand and stuff like that. But I wish there was a way to where the hands had a magnet in it and like it would just hold there, because there would be other stuff that I would want to do with this. But there's no magnet in this that I know of. But you get this really, really cool skull. Looking skull, and it looks like, I don't know if that's supposed to be flames or not, but it's really, really well done. Then she gets a lollipop for whatever reason, but it's nicely painted, very, very nicely painted. Get that lollipop. Then we get to the weapons, and the weapons are dope. So you get 2 of these, I guess you can call them knives. And she would need to obviously use the bigger hands to hold these, but you get 2 of those. Really, really nicely done. You get a smaller knife with that really, really nice green translucent plastic connected to it. That's really, really nice. You get a larger one, which I think the hands can still hold this one. So you get a little bit of a larger one with kind of a hook. I don't know if there's a special name for this or not, but That's really, really cool looking. Then you get an even larger one. Now I'm gonna have to come out some. You get an even larger one because, just because, I guess, as you can see, this one's even bigger. Now you're getting into the stuff where the pumpkin has to hold it. And then you get this gigantic cleaver-like one, which is really dope, with all that beautiful translucent green plastic that you can shine light through really nicely if you want to. It even has like blood splatter, I guess, from cutting some motherfuckers down. So yeah, obviously the pumpkin would be holding this one. She doesn't have a hand really have a hand big enough to hold this. That's it for accessories. She has a shit ton, a metric shit ton of accessories, and I love it. So let's go ahead and get into the articulation. Alrighty, so for articulation, so her little ponytails are on little ball pegs, so they can move around and spin. Try not to yank on them too hard because they will break. She has no going up, unfortunately. Looking down a little bit, side to side, she does have that. She can get past horizontal with that shoulder. Then obviously she can go all the way around. We do have a bicep swivel at that little band around her arm, so that's good. Got double jointed elbows there. We got a ball hinge for the wrist. Going back on that diaphragm joint, it is tight on mine. You can go back that far. Oops. That's about as far back as she's gonna go. Forward, about that far forward. And then side to side, she can get that. So that's pretty good. Now, you need to be careful here because it will get caught on her back here. So you kind of got to work around that. That's what was kind of preventing me from going forward. But she can move around pretty smoothly for the most part. No waist joint, but she does have a thigh swivel here at the top, but I think she also has one right at the boot or sock or pantyhose. I don't know, pantyhose. I don't know if that's what that is or not. Going forward, let's see how far she can go forward. Does kick out to the side, but she can go up that far. You can twist it to make it look better, but splits, pretty good splits there. Going back, not by much because she has the butt crack there. Over 90 degrees here with the knee, and then forward this much on that ankle, down that much, and then you do get a twist, but no toe hinge or anything like that. So pretty basic articulation for her. I don't think she's going to need to do much because she will be riding around in that pumpkin mech of hers. So I guess we can do the articulation for the pumpkin, but it's going to be a lot. So we'll get that pumpkin out and see what it can do. Alrighty, so for this thing, showed you earlier, this tail can move all around you. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want with this thing. It will move any way you want to. Now, obviously, there's a limit, but considering what it is, it's a pretty impressive limit. Then we'll just do one side of this guy. I'm not going to do both sides because obviously each side can do the same thing. We got a hinge here, I guess, for a knee or elbow. I don't know what that would be. So that can go back and forth. You can also, that doesn't spin, but then you get a ball here. Ouch. And that is poking me. You get a ball here, and so that can spin as well. Then you got another ball hinge here where this can spin on that, and it can hinge very far forward if you needed it to do something like that. And then backwards, very squeaky, but backwards that far. This thing is huge. It's hard to keep on camera. Then there's a ball joint here. There's a ball joint there. And so that will act like a normal ball joint, and you can move that around if you want to call that a shoulder, I guess. Yeah, I guess since this is the arm. Then we got another ball joint here that can hinge back and forth, and obviously that can be like a bicep swivel. Then we got another ball hinge here that can go back and forth and also swivel. Then we got a hinge back and forth and swivel with the hands. Each hand has its own hinges to them, so they can make a fist, they can spread out, because the this one in the hand is just a ball peg. And then as you can see, that popped out, but you can just pop it right back in. Then you got this other leg, which pretty much operates the same as this leg. You got a hinge here, ball peg there that can twist and move back and forth. You got a hinge here that can go back and forth and twist. That's pretty much it for this thing. It just can do it on both sides. So each limb can function the same way on both the left and the right sides. So that's it for the articulation for this thing. Alrighty, let's do some comparisons. Alrighty, and here she is next to two other snail shell. This one might be Hasuki, but it could be snail shell. I think this is all snail shell technically. But I think her name is Milk, and I forget her name, but yeah, you can see they're definitely in scale with each other, and they kind of go down in the slant, but I didn't do that on purpose, to be honest with you. But yeah, here's what she looks like with them. Alrighty, and because this review is already so long, I'm gonna make this the last comparison. Here she is next to Rainbow Mika and or the SH Figure Arts Rainbow Mika and the Buzzmod Mitsuri, the Love Hashira from Demon Slayer. As you can see, they're tiny, or she's tiny. But this is what I was talking about with Rainbow Mika. You see how she doesn't have the flappy butts? It's full cheek. She fully cheeked out. And that's what I was talking about with her. She's fully cheeked out, almost. But I mean, for snail shell, she's cheeked out. But yeah, that's it for comparisons. Alrighty, so in conclusion, this is a very, very unique figure. It has a lot of stuff going for it, but that's because that could be because it has a lot of stuff. There are some issues that I noticed when I was trying to put this whole contraption together. The hands, you definitely need to warm those up because they are freaking impossible to put on the pegs, and the pegs are super tight. And especially these hands that I have on her now, they're the big pokey hands. And so just handling this thing can be difficult because there's so many things that can poke you. And then getting her to stand with... Fell. Sorry about that. I thought something fell, but I couldn't find anything that fell. Anyway, but handling it is super pokey. And then these legs, that's where I was at. These legs, yes, it can support the weight. How long it'll be able to do that, who knows? I would say this: these front legs are stronger than the back legs. Now I have the pumpkin guy looking down. I would personally prefer it to be looking up, but it's just a lot because see how these swords are set up inside of here too. Like all these swords there's like a slot for these swords to sit in, and you got to be really ginger and really careful not to have those fall out while you're trying to handle it and posing it. There's a lot to this thing, but if you are willing to have the patience, this thing is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Now, I do plan on like displaying it like this. How long these legs are going to be able to hold all of this up, I guess we'll just have to see over time. But as of right now, as you can see, this thing can hold the weapon just fine. The arm's not falling down. I pretty much have every weapon on it at the moment, and it's holding it up. But that's the thing too. You got to make sure you adjust these legs, because these front legs are where most of the weight is being distributed with her. Now, if you want it to look up, you'll have to kick these legs back, and as you see, once you start moving it too much, it's just gonna fall. And so you just kind of have to set it up and hope for the best. But there's not really, unless this thing was all die cast, and even die cast couldn't guarantee that it would last that long, but obviously die cast would have been stronger. But die cast probably would have been the way to go with something like this, to be honest with you. But it's not like this figure was cheap as it is. And with die cast, I can easily see this have been costing somewhere around like $400. And I mean, they could have made that if they wanted to, but I get what they're trying to do, and they, for the most part, they did a decent job with it. But it's only so much you can do when you're dealing with plastic and joints and fiddling around with sharp edges and things like that, to where you just really gotta know what you're doing for everything to look good. And as you can see, I mean, it can be a problem. It can be a problem. Now, I'm gonna get this set up real quick, but I kind of wanted to go through that with you guys, just so you can see that this thing can be set up if you need it to be. But once you get it set up in whatever pose you want to, my advice is you leave it there. Leave it there and don't ever move it again. So that is my advice to you. But see, even that leg wants to give out. But anyway, let me get this thing set up, and then I can finish up the review. Be right back. Alrighty, finally got it standing up. But anyway, yeah, if you can just deal with the fiddliness of this figure, then you'll be fine. If you got the patience to set this up, you'll be fine. But if you don't have the patience for that kind of stuff, then this ain't the figure for you. It's awesome looking once you get it all set up, but getting to that point, it's going to take some time. So I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. So anyway, that's it for the review. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.